Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How was your day so far?
It's going good.
What does going good mean? Define that.
Work is not hectic. Yeah.
And
And my coworkers that I am friends with are here today. And
at your
so,
house?
no, not here at my house, but like
Oh,
at work.
okay. How else? What else?
Um, that's about it. That's why it's good.
Okay, that's good. So when we left off on our last meeting, we left with you started your day at 9 a.m. So you
Mhm.
kind of vowed to begin working on it over the next few days. With me helping you, giving you a call between, 5:30, 6 o'clock to see how that was going, to see if it would kind of help add more time to your day and to add a little more streamline and reducing the overwhelming feeling of everything that's coming at you, scholarships and everything. So my question is, how is it working? Well, is it working? If so, describe. If not, why not?
Um, kind of. So I haven't been able to get up exactly when you call. Like I'll get up to answer the phone, but I can never stay up. But I don't sleep until 9 o'clock. I get up earlier than what I normally get up. It's just not as early as I am working towards.
Okay. So if you're answering the phone, which is good, but you're not staying awake, but you're still getting up early to 9, then when are you getting up?
Like 7-ish, 8, which is
Okay.
still earlier.
Yes.
So I want to keep working on it until I can nail. I think I want to do 6 as my goal. That seems early enough.
Yeah. And that's good. So, it's been 3 days, 4 days. So we're looking at it still an hour to an hour, 2 hour difference. So that's good. So now that although it may not be what you talked about, but it's still better, right? How
Yeah.
has how have you been able to add more time to your day in terms of productivity help to reduce your being overwhelmed feeling a little?
So I usually I when I get ready for things in the morning, I move kind of slow. So instead of having to I don't rush to work, but instead of having to kind of just get dressed and leave, I have time to like take a deep breath, maybe get some water, some lunch. So that's good in the morning time. And then
Okay.
the day that I didn't have work, I was able to, I think I did a little bit of my little painting for the art scholarship in the morning.
Okay. So let me back up for a second. So, all right. So that was in the AM, but how did it roll out throughout the rest of the day? So you can breathe a little more, you can digress a little more, no more rushing. Maybe I think you meant fix your lunch or maybe eat some breakfast.
Yeah. Fix my lunch.
Yeah,
Fix my lunch
fix
and
your
take it
lunch.
with me.
But has it added any value throughout the day? So I'm hearing a value before that's there now that wasn't there before. But were you able to get anything accomplished outside of just the digression part and taking advantage of the extra time, like in terms of your scholarships or planning or time management?
Kind of. Like I said, I did a little bit of the art scholarship the other day, so I didn't have to do that later. Um, But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to put in that morning time because when I do start getting up at 6, I want to do something that will help me throughout the day or do something that I won't have to do later. I just don't know what it is yet. Like, do I want to do my chores in the morning so I don't have to do those like later, or do I want to do my scholarships in the morning? I have to. I don't know what I don't know what I want to do yet.
Okay. Thank you for that. So now I have to go back to another thing we discussed the other day. So this week you were given 10 scholarships to work on. Some of them were due a few days ago. Like I think one was due on the 19th.
The next one's due tomorrow.
Okay, one due tomorrow. So I didn't receive anything in terms of review. So the goal was to have them review before you submitted them. So because I didn't get a review, did you submit it?
The 19th one, no.
Okay, and the 19th one was the video, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, what was the one that was due on the 19th?
Um, it was it was an essay. And
Okay.
they gave us 3 topics to write about, and you had to pick one.
Okay, so what happened there?
I wasn't paying attention to the due date.
Okay. Why?
I wrote it in my spreadsheet, but I didn't write it on my calendar that I have up so I could see everything at a glance. I hadn't done that yet, so I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's preventing you? So I'm seeing a pattern now, and it's a serious one because your mom is trying to find ways to help you get to school, right? And she's concerned as a single parent that she may not make your dream school come true. So her concern was to try to find ways to get you more activated, encouraged, motivated, and inspired in this process, right? Because unfortunately, the long-term impact is if she can't pull off this tuition, which is I was on a webinar yesterday for your school. In 4 years, it's $195,000 commitment. Each year, it rounds out about 47,000. That's about 23,700 per semester.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the first wave of payment is due on July 15th, or you won't be able to register. That is a huge concern that your mom is trying to work through. And not just on the 16th, not just on the 15th, but the rest of the semester, then spring semester, then the sophomore year, junior, senior year, right? So the fact that there's a lack of urgency, and first, before you came aboard, it was really identifying the scholarships. Now it's meeting those deadlines, right? And so last week we missed a scholarship, that was still kind of new. This week we missed a scholarship, but you had time to do it. We talked about time management. We talked about the to-do lists. We talked about transferring a to-do list over to your calendar. You identified a concern. We were working on that concern on getting up more in the morning to have a little more time in the day to try to reduce the overwhelming. So everything that we've been working on has been to be able to identify, to get to the root of being able to help you. Because technically, at the end of the day, if your mom decided to step away from payment for school, she could, because you're how old right now?
18.
18. And so whose responsibility, truly, whose shoulders does this really fall on?
Mine.
Yours. Yes. And so what brought your mom into this is because it's really helping her, really helping you to be able to cut this umbilical cord a little bit because it's a lot of pressure under your mom. She's not going to tell you that, but for her to invest in a program to try to get you more independent, more motivated, more support, that says it all. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So by us meeting, I'm trying to hear what your concern is, trying to help you with your solutions and finding ways to make it work. But to be honest with you, if there isn't a shift in mindset and understanding the importance of this, and there's no change in behavior or an approach in the behavior, then the outcome is not going to make a difference. She would have poured into this program to pour into you to set you up for success. And if you're not meeting those deadlines or you're not meeting a program midway, then it's not going to benefit her. And long term, short term, it could prevent you from going to your dream school. Long term, it could prevent you from really being at a 4-year school this year and really have you back at a community college or remaining at your job for the next 12 months. That's the reality of this. And it's a tough conversation to have, but I'm neutral to this. But this is why you're here, right? And so we spoke earlier in the week. We, and as I mentioned to you before, it's not meant to be success all day, all the time, because it's still a learning curve, right? They say if you do anything for 21 days, eventually it will come full circle. But what I've seen, and I told you I'm all about transparency, unfortunately, this is the second scholarship that's missed. And it was a very easy one because you come from a strong background in writing. And so I want to be able to just introduce it to you because my dear mentee and very intelligent young lady, this is real. $194,000 over 4 years, $50,000 per year, $25,000 per semester, $16,000 that's due in 3.5 weeks, and then there's a monthly payment. And then that's not including when you get down there traveling, the deposit that's due prior to even doing a payment plan or parent loans that have to be taken out. That's a lot on your mom's shoulder. What do you think about that?
I agree.
So the goal in this, again, is all about your mind shift, right? You have the organization there, right? You have the tools, you have the know-how, you have things. And I know you're probably thinking, but I just want to relax. I done worked all year. I just graduated. I'm not even 2 weeks out from graduation. You probably need a break, right? To some degree. Or you want to kind of digress. Be honest, honestly, you'll be able to take a vacation when you've earned it. Because now that you're in the real world, what we know as adults to be a real world and being 18, there's no longer a window of opportunity, a cushion. And so, not that you're looking to master what we're working on, well, at least not in the first week anyway, but what I'm seeing are some things that will be costly long term, which is why I just wanted to pause to talk about it a little bit. Every scholarship you apply for, whether you win it or not, allows you one step closer to take that burden off your mom and off you, and to really keep you where you want to be in school. not at a community college. It can be at any HBCU, but also these are lifelong lessons and attributes that you'll need going into what the world expects of you. So even if this wasn't a college thing and this was about a career job you're going after, to miss a second deadline in 7 days, that's huge. That could end you up in unemployment or going to get, you know, support from Department of Health and Human Services, which is where people get food stamps and things like that. And so we have to find a way that when you have deadlines in front of you, which I know you're able to do, this has to be your priority right now. It's not saying don't relax. It's not saying don't go to work. It's not saying don't reach out, don't take a breather, which is why we're also trying to manage your day, right? It's 24 hours in a day. 8 of those hours are dedicated to sleep, supposedly, right? You got 8 hours. Sometimes it's dedicated for work. Maybe, maybe not. But it's still leaving a significant amount of time in a day for you, for yourself. Last week, you talked about blocking out time, right? You would do 2 hours here, 2 hours there. Have you done any of that this week?
Yeah, kind of.
So yes, but maybe not so much of it as you would have liked. Okay, so now we're talking about consistency, right? Having that consistency will allow you to not feel overwhelmed. And so I know this is a tough conversation right now, but I want you to really be able to be real with yourself. Be realistic. Look. And remember, not all 10 of those scholarships were due this week. I think it was only like 2 of them at max. Next week, which would be going into your 3rd week, you got like 7 to 8 scholarships due by the 30th. That's a lot. But if we're not able to find a pattern and time within a day and that consistency, then next week is going to be even more of an overload. And the goal with mapping this out and trying to at least get something that's consistent in your schedule, it's not for it to be an overload for you. You're right. Sometimes it is daunting to write. But that is the one way that you can secure your future. And the reason why I say secure your future is because tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. Not to the dog, the cat, the plant, the sock, the clothes, or humans. Every day we wake up is a day of a blessing. And then we get to live for the rest of the day. Right? So this rapper was at one point connected to a sucker. Well, the sucker is gone, and so is the rapper. Right? And so if it's anything left over connected to the rapper or to the sucker, that sucker or rapper now have to find a way in the world to navigate. And oftentimes, what's connected to a rapper or sucker doesn't even know where to start. And it's even more overwhelming. So your mom got you in this program to help you prepare for this transition. Not just transition in the fall, but transition in the real world. And some things right now we have to tighten up. Thoughts?
I agree.
Wait a minute. I can't hear you. Hold on. Say something now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What did you mention?
I just said I agree.
Yes. Just 1 second. I gotta Okay, so we missed a scholarship yesterday. We have one that's due tomorrow, which we need to get it in. Question. I know that when we spoke before that we were batting like 75 to 100 and doing your to-do list at night and transferring it over into your calendar in the morning. How has that been?
That's going fine. I just need to stick with one list because sometimes during the day I get like overwhelmed and I'll like add different things to the list instead of just sticking to specific things
Okay.
that I initially.
Okay, so you just mentioned don't add new things to your list. So were you adding these things to the list in the morning or from the night before?
Like throughout the day when I'm like, oh, I have to do this too, and I have to do that too. And then I add it to the list, and then I get overwhelmed and I got to figure out what I got to take off the list.
Okay. So last week when we were talking, you said the way that you typically approach your list is that you would label them A, B, C. Are you doing that still?
Kind of.
Okay. So hold on to that. When you add things to your list, do you label them A, B, C?
No.
No. Okay. So now the lesson of the day is also consistency. So you just said adding things overwhelm you. So you might add things, but it may not be to that to-do list. What you may decide to do is to take a sticky note, rip it off, and stick it to your computer, right? Or to your planner. And so that's as a reminder when you open your planner, that could be something that you know that you need to add. So do you have different color stickies like this, or are
Hmm.
they all one color like this?
I have
No.
different color ones. Yeah, I
Okay,
can kind of.
you can see
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
All right. So you may decide not on your to-do list that you've already written the night before, but identify color pattern, right? From the colors you do have, like this is orange, blue, yellow, pink, and green. Pink to me, because I'm a runner, automatically draws attention to me. So that might be my A, right? So I might put something pink with something on there. And so I know that that is of urgency. So I might add that to my to-do list the next night. You know, yellow is also a very vibrant color. That might be my number two. So again, we're going back into organization. So as you're thinking of things, instead of adding it to your to-do list from the night before, which you've already labeled, and we got to stick with the ABC, grab your sticky notes that you have that are color coded and add a system to it. So you can pull from it based off your color coordination and add it to your to-do list as you're constantly moving through your week. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah.
Um, but also let's get back to labeling them. What have you identified, or why aren't you labeling them A, B, and C each night?
Um, I don't know.
Hmm, is it too much work? Is it too much work?
No, I guess I don't know. Sometimes I just forget. Like I have the list, but I don't prioritize it.
Okay. And again, it's we're still developing and working on this consistency. Okay, no problem. So I got your summary. So thank you so very much for that. I appreciate you writing it up. This is just a real conversation, so it's not the end of the world, but I'm just bringing back to you what I hear, right? Scholarships are your number one thing outside of the time management organization because it adds, it's part of your short term and long term, right? And that's really important. We did miss that scholarship, which we can't do anything about it today, but you said we have one that's due tomorrow.
Hmm.
Okay, how close are you with that one and completing it?
Um, I'm finishing up my outline and I'm gonna type it up today when I get home.
Okay, so this one was another essay, not the video.
Yeah, this one's another essay. I think the video one is the 25th.
25th. Okay, gotcha. So I'll be getting that essay later on today.
Yes.
Okay. So what was your approach in your essay today? So I know you
Um,
said, go ahead.
I just write down a bunch of, well, first I had to figure out what kind of scholarship it was. So I just went on there, or what kind of organization it was that was giving it. So I went in there and I read their little like bio or whatever. And then I just wrote some like miscellaneous points of what I wanted to include based on what they were asking. And then I have to break it up into paragraphs and then write it.
And how long is the essay?
I think 500 to 700 words.
Okay, so I love your organization and your approach. Um, doing the what prompts you to go to do the research on the company as opposed to just writing to the question?
Because they were asking about secular humanism, and I didn't know what that was until I went on there and read it because that's what they stand for. So I had to go look. So I know what they're looking for when I write.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. And how are you doing? So we got the one that's due tomorrow. It sounds like you're moving great on that. And then how is the video one coming? Because the 25th is on Sunday.
hmm So I had one that I started, so I'm just basically finishing it up. Like I had a
Okay.
little film I had already started, so I'm just finishing it up. Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. And so I think next week is going to be a very heavy week on when your scholarships are due. Um, were you able to at least start on the ones from last week that you
Yeah.
got with
And
the
that's what
30th?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how to organize the ones I already started and the ones that the new ones the ones that are new but the due dates are closer. So I'm still trying to figure out how to organize finishing the ones I got last week and doing the ones this week before they're due.
Okay. So the ones that were remaining last week are due next Friday, which is
hmm
the 30th. Have you done the research on that or even started the outline on any of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So before you jump into the other ones that are remaining from the list this week, so we already talked about three. So it's seven more, and all seven aren't due next week, right? It's a few that are due after 6:30. So we know it's one due tomorrow, which sounds like you're on it. The one that's due Sunday sounds like you're on it. So you have 2 days in between, the 23rd and 24th, right? The ones from last week, I would incorporate them in the two that you're doing now that is due to 23rd and the 25th.
hmm
So you said you already started on the outline, correct?
Yes.
And have you identified at least in the outline what you want to write to? Are you still working on that regarding all of them? Or do you have the outline completed for any of them?
Yeah, I finished the outline for one of them and I started writing one of them. And that one, that's the one that is asking for 1,000 to 2,000 words. And I have like 400 so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was trying to figure out if I should do a little bit of that every day or focus more on the ones that are due this week.
Well, in terms of priority, you definitely want to get the ones that are due this week so you can get them off your plate. Have you reached back out to your mom for any insight?
No.
Why?
Insight on my writing?
Writing, suggestion, review?
Not really.
Why?
I, I don't know. I don't usually do that.
Exactly. The usual, usual is not what we're doing anymore. New mindset, new behavior, new action, right? So you
hmm
tried it one way, didn't yield the results. We got to try the new way to yield better results. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, although you're not used to turning to your mom for assistance, that's what she's there for. So, while you're working on the one that's due tomorrow, the one that is 400 words, I would ask her to review it. Mom, what do you think? She may be able to pull some ideas you may not have thought about. or
Mhm.
extending, right?
Yeah.
You ever thought about that?
Um, I no, not really. I have before, but I don't know. Like I think I told you this already. Just sometimes asking for help just doesn't seem like an option. But every time I do it, it's usually beneficial. I just keep forgetting that that's something that I can do.
Cool. Here's your reminder. What we did before didn't yield the results. Doing something new will help us get us closer. So remember, because this is a student-led program, parent supported, we need to now tap into your mom, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So I thank you for reminding me of that. That is something that sometimes it's hard to ask for it. But Naila, she is your number one cheerleader. I know you know this in theory, and I know you know this in practical application when you see her running around like a chicken with a head cut off, making things possible that you didn't know was possible. But she's also there to help encourage you and to motivate you in times that you need a different voice, right? Or you need an outside opinion, or you need someone to look over it, right? Incorporate your mom in your process. Even though the umbilical cord is cut and you're considered to be an adult, it doesn't stop the support there at all, right? Not and matter of fact, it increases. But the only way that your mom know that you need her help is the what?
If I say something,
And that is known as what?
advocating for myself.
Advocating for yourself. If we took this away and took it to your job, right? You get this huge project, overwhelmed, not quite sure to turn, new environment, new people. They know you're a good writer. You got multiple writing projects, and you're not quite sure how to approach this. Should you continue to do it all by yourself, or should you solicit support to keep your job?
Ask for help.
Ask for help. So, what I would like for you to do is have you talked to your mom about anything that we've discussed? Being overwhelmed, trying to this approach that you have going on. Your mom is a person that that tackled a lot in life. Have you even talked to her about some of the things that have crossed your mind that we spoke of for insight or suggestions?
Yeah. She just I don't know. I kind of I've talked to her about organization and stuff before. She just tells me to make lists and write stuff on calendars.
Okay. How about deeper stuff with your essay, with her insight on the topic? Any of that have you done, or have you done lately?
Yeah, she was giving me a little bit of insight on one of the ones that's due on the 30th.
Okay, that's good. So it sounds like the conversation has started. And how did reaching out to her make you feel? Do you think it was beneficial? Do you think it was like, well, that was a waste of time?
Um, it was beneficial.
Is there a
Yeah.
but in there?
No,
But it ain't really helped you. You don't feel like it helped you.
not really.
Okay, and that's fine. It's okay to say that. It's not a bad thing. So, okay. So you are reaching out, you are having discussions, you are getting input. Great job to you. Like you said, it still comes back to you. So now, what do you need to do in your 16 hours, 6, 8, 16, 24? Yeah, in your 16 hours when you don't have to work, and then your 8 hours when you do have to work, outside of your 8 hours of sleep and 8 hours of work, 8 hours of work, how do we balance that to maximize progress? Now, the goal is not to keep saying it and not do it. I'm hearing, I'm starting it, but I'm not consistent. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing, I'm I'm trying to figure out what's happening in the middle of the day versus the rest of the day versus X, Y, and Z. So in your mindset, what is your goal over the next 24 hours? Let's just go there. What's your
I would
goal in the
like,
next? Hmm?
I want to finish the one that's due tomorrow, the scholarship that's due tomorrow.
Okay, and then what else? That's one goal. You got to have more than one goal. That's one goal. What else do you need? What else do you want to accomplish in the next 24 hours?
I want to work more on the film one that's due the 25th.
Okay. So that's a long-term goal. What about your organization goal? What are some of the things that you identify as gaps that you need to tighten up in the next 24 hours?
Prioritize my list by A, B, and C.
Okay. What else? So yep, we
And
got that.
um oh, I want to do like a literal schedule. I don't really like schedules, but just like allocating certain times to certain things.
Okay. I love
So
that plan. Yep, go ahead.
I think I don't have to work tomorrow, so I guess I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll write
Tomorrow.
I'll do it tomorrow morning probably. Or yeah, I'll write a list today and then I'll do a schedule tomorrow. Because my mom used to always have me doing schedules of my day. She was like when she would go to work and I would be at home, she would tell me to send her a picture of a schedule that I made, and then I would have to prove that I followed it at the end of the day.
Thank you for suggesting that. So when you make your schedule tomorrow morning with your to-do list, I want you to snapshot and send it to me. You're so brilliant.
Okay.
See, listen, you did that's if that is not accountability at its best, I don't know what it was. And when your mom had you do that, were you getting things done?
Kind of. I didn't like schedules.
That's it.
Because I didn't like I like to go with the flow with things. I don't like restricting times to stuff, but I've learned that sometimes that's the best way to get things it's the best way to organize. That's all.
Yeah, because the free flowing, unscheduled times, we'd have missed 2 scholarships.
Hmm.
That's not good. But remember, when you're able, remember every part of your day doesn't have to be restricted within a block of time. Only making sure you're accomplishing those hot item buttons on your list, right? And once you're finished that, you have free time. You have more than the rest of your day. But you have to be able to see that first. See what your A items are, get them accomplished, and then you'll be sitting around like this. Now what do I do? And guess what? You don't have to do anything. Why? Because you got your A items out the way. That's what this is all about. Right? So cool. You're going to make that list. You're going to screenshot it and send it to me. Then you're going to do that block list, screenshot it and send it to me via my phone. And then I'm going to check in with you tomorrow evening at 7:00 via phone.
Okay.
So all we're going to do, wait a minute. All we focused on is 24 hours. We're going to take 24 hours at a time. Sounds good?
Yes.
Okay. Great job today. I know you got things to do to work on. I look forward to seeing your review for your essay so we can get it out the way and submit it. And I'll talk to you in 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day. All right.
Thanks. You too.
You're welcome. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay.